And so let's talk a little bit about free trade. Now, from our perspective, the consumers, free trade is good. All of a sudden, you have a huge array of products that you can buy from. You can buy German products, you can buy French products, you can buy Chinese, Americans, right? So, like, all these companies would now have to compete with each other in order to attract your attention. They would have to try to make better products, or cheaper products, or more convenient products. It would be competition, right? So, why is free trade a problem? Well, it becomes a problem if we try to start a business. So let's say both you and I start our own laptop making companies, and we manage to create a laptop that's pretty decent. It costs $1,000. It's good for gaming. It's got a slick model, and people like it. You know, it's not the best laptop on the market, but people like our laptop. And so if we end up being successful, we're creating many things for society. First and foremost, we're creating jobs. A lot of people work in our factories making those laptops. There's a lot of people involved with the marketing campaigns, with the consultants agency, lawyers. Like, we're creating a lot of jobs just by having our companies. And we're creating social security for these people. We're putting a product onto the market. It's a good laptop. You know, people are proud that the laptop is made in America. It's competing at the world stage. It forces other laptop makers to innovate because otherwise they fall behind our product. It sets the market price to an acceptable level because if there was only one company making laptops, it would cost $3,000 rather than one. So all is good, right? Like, we're doing a lot of good for society just by making a product. But then the government comes in and they say, well, actually, we need you to have a minimum wage. We don't care. Like, you need to have a minimum wage. We don't care that you just hire a janitor for 4 hours a day to clean. No, you need to now have a minimum wage. We're very worried about the environment. We're going to put some environment taxes on you. We actually are concerned about the way you're running things. We think you're racist. You need to hire some HR and diversity people in your company. We need you to abide by these regulations, so now you need to hire some consultants in order to make sure that all those regulations are good, and you need to pay your legal counsel a little bit more because they're going to have more jobs and filing all of the rules and regulations we have for you. And so you decide to remain in America, and you decide to deal with all that bullshit. I decide to move to China. And when I move to China, all of a sudden I don't have to worry about that minimum wage. I don't have to worry about all of the bureaucracy. I don't have to worry about that shit. I mean, they have shit over there as well, you know? They have their own bullshit, but it's not as bad as here. And so now I'm making the same laptop, the exact same shit. I'm making it in China. You're making it in the United States. But you have to now sell it for $1,500. You gotta sell it for $1,500 because, well, workers are now more expensive. Taxes are gone up. You need to hire an HR team. You need to hire more consultants. Like, all of a sudden, it's not how it used to be 10 years ago. It's not the same thing. It's more difficult because people voted for that shit. Politicians wanted that shit, right? So now it's more expensive. And it's the same laptop, and now it's $1,500. Maybe we adjusted for inflation, right? Like, during the COVID, government printed money. Maybe it's now even $1,800. Who fucking knows? But it's more expensive, right? Meanwhile, I'm making the same laptop in China, same technology, same thing, same product. And I'm making it there, and when I imported it to America, it's $800. It's a lot cheaper to make, you know? I don't have to hire the army of consultants. I don't have to pay for all the environmentalist bullshit. I don't have to pay the minimum wage. And so how is it fair, right? Like your product, which is made in America, and it's giving jobs for American people, and it's an American product. Your product, which is the same as mine, costs a lot more expensive. It costs $1,800, and mine just costs $800. Do you think the customer would care? Like, do you think the customer who goes in there and buys a product will care? Like, do they have, like, the meta-analysis, and they would be like, well, hold on a little bit. If everything is made in China, then where am I going to get a job? If we keep voting for leftist policies to increase taxes, and you're going to just support the Chinese companies. They're not having, like, this mindset. They don't think this way. All they do is, like, they go in a store, they see one laptop, which is made in America, it's $1,800. They see one that's made in China, they buy the $800 one. and it destroys the worker, right? Like, it affects the working class, as Bernie Sanders likes to put it, because it's really great for the corporations. I mean, the companies fucking love it, right? The interest of a company is to sell you a product, and the average person doesn't have the meta-analysis, right? Like, the average person doesn't zoom out and realize, well, hold on a little bit, if I keep supporting foreign companies that produce their goods elsewhere, it's going to be less likely for me to find a job in the future. It's going to be less likely for my kid to have a job in the future. They don't have that mindset, right? Like, people just go in the store, they see the cheaper laptop, same specs, they buy the cheap one. In fact, they may even curse the more expensive one. Look, they're trying to rob me. But they don't know. It's like, well, it's because of the taxes, it's because of the bureaucracy, it's because of all these rules and regulations. They have no idea. And so, free trade is good, it's amazing, if we were in a system where everyone played by the same rules. Like, if the United States, China, the European Union, if all of them would have the exact same laws, and so if you make something in Europe, or you make something in China, or you make something in the United States, it would be literally the same price, then sure, there would be no problem with free trade. But when we have different legislation, different minimum wages, different working conditions, different bureaucracies all over the place, and you allow companies to just build what is cheaper and then import into your home, why wouldn't they do it? And the only people that suffer are the working classes. So, like, the purpose of a tariff is to encourage people to stop going to China and abide by the laws that the Americans want, right? Like the minimum wage, the environmentalism, all that shit, right? You're basically forcing companies to abide by that. And so if you're pro-environment, you can't be against tariffs. Like, if you're in the European Union and you're really big on green energy and environmentalism and ESG scores and shit, you would also be really big on tariffing companies that are trying to run away from this ideology by producing stuff in a country that doesn't have these policies. And so, yeah, like, if you get a tariff for, like, the Chinese product, like the laptop that costs $800, now there's a tariff. Well, now let's say my laptop costs $1,800, same as yours, or maybe it costs even more. Let's say it costs $2,000 now. Well, people are going to just buy the American one, right? Because assuming not everything is made in China, and even if it is, like, over time, some companies will realize that it's not profitable. They're going to be like, okay, well, if my product is sold in America, it is cheaper to make it in America, because then you don't have to pay for the logistics, you don't have to pay for the transport. Just fucking make it in America, right? And so this is why the tariffs are becoming a problem. It's because when free trade was invented as a concept, most nations functioned around the same principles. But now when you add environmental taxes, when you add bureaucracy, when you add everything in the mix, it's not a fair game anymore. And so the solution is, and if you like free trade, which I do, but the solution then becomes either you remove all the policies, which I don't see happening, but like, yeah, remove the environmentalism, remove all the taxes, remove the minimum wage, remove everything, or you put tariffs. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.